Today we have two track-oriented performance Mustangs to compare. This car, my personal Shelby GT350R, and this, the all-new Ford Mustang Mach 1. We are comparing the two of them, but unfortunately I don't have access to a track to drive them back to back, so this is more of an interior-exterior details walk-around video where we'll see how these two stack up. There is a more in-depth review of a 350R on the channel, and there will also be one of the Mach 1. This is particularly interesting to compare these two because now that the Shelby GT350 has been discontinued, the Bullet is gone, the Performance Pack Level 2 is gone, this is now the most capable and track-focused Ford Mustang. We do have the Shelby GT500, but that's a full-out Ford performance product. It's 760 horsepower and effectively 6 figures, so that's in a whole other league. These two seem a little more similar, especially given the fact that the Mach 1 took some of the ingredients from the Shelby GT350. I'm also personally, I've been interested to see how these stack up because everything I was seeing of the Mach 1 reminded me of my Boss 302. It felt like the spiritual successor. I had a Boss 302 Laguna Seca, which was similar. It still had the 5-liter Coyote V8 and just took some ingredients to make it a bit more performance and special version of the Mustang. So with that, let's grab the other camera, we'll walk around, we'll check out the exterior, how they compare, the interior, we'll pop the hood, look at the engines, we'll start them up and see how they sound, and let's go to compare these two. Let's start with the exterior of the Shelby and the Mach 1. So this is a regular Mach 1. It does not have the handling pack. So from an exterior standpoint, it's not quite as aggressive. You can get an extra front splitter, a bigger rear wing from the GT500, different wheels. So compared to the 350R, which is the most aggressive looking exterior for the Shelby GT350, it's not exactly fair. We can still see some of the similarities and differences. One thing you'll note is the Mach 1 has the new Mustang style headlights, whereas Ford's been doing this for a while actually. The GT350 models still kept the old S550 headlight shape. They did not refresh them, so you can see the difference there. The Mach 1 also has Mustang badges on it, whereas the Shelby has the Shelby Snake, the Cobra badge, and not a single Mustang logo on this car. The older front fascia there, along with the Mach 1 look. We also have the signature big circular fog lights, even though they're not functional, they're just closed off. The more aggressive hood, along with a styling pack with the Mach 1 stripe and the orange accents there, with the fighter jet gray paint, which is exclusive to the Mach 1. So I think, it looks very aggressive, and with the handling pack, the Mach 1 looks equally as aggressive as a GT350, just in a slightly different way. You've got the signature racing stripes, the red accents for the 350R. This is leadfoot gray paint versus fighter jet gray. Let's come around to the side. We'll look at some other details. These wheels are shared with the outgoing Performance Pack Level 2. We've got some orange brake caliper accents that are pretty cool, and a big Mach 1 badge on the side. And then you also see the sticker pack also includes the side stripes with the orange accent. These are PS4S tires. If you get the handling pack for the Mach 1, they're the even more aggressive Cup 2s with a really cool kind of mesh looking wheel design. Coming over to the 350R, from the factory this comes on carbon fiber wheels that are painted gloss black, but I have some aftermarket wheels on here. They are quite aggressive, and I'm running PS4S tires because Cup 2s don't like when it's rainy or slightly cold out or anything. You don't have much grip, so those are still quite aggressive. Again, you can get a more aggressive tire and wheel setup on the Mach 1 with the handling pack. They're an inch wider with a different look to it. So these are 275s out back. These are 325s, but you can get 305s up front and 315s out back with the handling pack. So the fenders are also much more aggressive on the Shelby. You can see that with a GT350 badge. No R designation on the side. We have side skirts here that, again, a little bit more than the regular Mach 1. And then coming around to the back, again, non-handling pack, so a very small little wing, big Mach 1 badge in the middle. This rear panel of gloss black plastic is impossible to keep clean. As a Shelby owner, I can attest to that. Also, we have the more angular, updated taillights. Still the tri-bar, I mean, that's signature Mustang styling, whereas the Shelby is still just a straight version. I think it's a really easy retrofit, because I think I've seen people swap them over. Have the red 350R badge in the middle. The diffuser from the Mach 1 and the exhaust tips look like it's stolen from the GT500, so that is quite aggressive no matter what. Quad exhaust tips, pretty cool, kind of triangle, angular rear diffuser. And again, you can have the same rear wing as a GT500 if you get the handling pack, whereas the 350R has the big carbon fiber fixed wing, painted gloss black, the stripes continue down. Got the GT350R diffuser, same as the regular 350, quad exhaust tips. So that's how the exteriors of these two Mustangs stack up. Again, they're the same generation effectively, mid-cycle refresh for this one, and this is the Shelby, which this came out in 2016, this appearance, actually technically 15, but 2016 for the 350R. So this is 5 model years newer, but you can see a lot of very similar styling cues. So now let's pop the hood and we'll check out the engine for both of these, and then we'll look at the interior. The Shelby GT350 gets one of the most special engines ever made, a 5.2-liter flat plane crank V8, codenamed the Voodoo, that revs to 8,250 RPM and makes 526 horsepower and 429 pound-feet of torque. In comparison, the Mach 1 has a version of the Coyote, the 5-liter naturally aspirated V8. Again, both of these are naturally aspirated. 480 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque, which is an increase of 20 horsepower compared to the regular GT. It takes the intake manifold from the Shelby and puts it onto the 5-liter Coyote. Under here on the brace, we've got a Mach 1 badge there. Redline, I believe, is 7,000 RPM for the Mach 1. Whereas, again, 8250, this thing just absolutely screams. This is a Ford Performance engine under here. In terms of direct engine-to-engine comparison, yes, this is a very, very special engine, but it has a reputation to be a little more high-strung, whereas the Coyote is a very solid and strong engine. Cross-plane crank versus flat-plane crank. Flat-plane crank is definitely special, but I feel like there's a reason why they went to a cross-plane crank on the GT500 when they decided to boost this engine with a supercharged GT500. But looking under the hood here, intake manifold is shared, and it's Coyote 5-liter versus the Voodoo 5.2. While we are talking about the powertrain, the transmission is worth noting. The regular Mustang GT has a MT82 manual, which I dislike greatly, has a lot of issues. Luckily for the Mach 1, you actually can have the same Tremec 6-speed manual that the Shelby GT350 comes with and the 350R. So if you get a manual transmission in your Mach 1, it's exactly the same as the one in the GT350. This one, you can also option the 10-speed automatic, and the one I'm driving right now does have the 10-speed automatic. I personally wouldn't ever spend the extra $1,600 to get the 10-speed auto. I don't see any reason beyond if you're just going to be drag racing and you want the absolute fastest in a straight line. I would get it with the Tremec manual without a single doubt if I were to order a Mach 1. Again, it's shared exactly with the Shelby in terms of transmission. So you see the ingredients. They're taking a regular Mustang GT and they stole the transmission out of the higher performance Shelby and they have combined them together. Let's check out the interior of the 350R. We'll start with this one. Again, this is the more aggressive track-focused version of the Shelby, which means rear seat delete from the factory. No back seats for the 350R. That is an aftermarket harness bar in there. And then we have a Ford Performance door sill plate here, and more track-focused Recaros with red accents from the factory. You can only have a manual transmission in the 350s. There was no other option. Get that Tremec. Let's hop in and check out from the driver's side, actually. It's pretty simple and basic on the inside. Again, this is the most track-focused version. One thing you'll note, we have analog tachometer and speedometer with just a small little digital display screen in the middle. You'll see a big difference on the Mach 1 with the new digital cluster. Full Alcantara and leather steering wheel with more red accents here. And the buttons on the steering wheel change a little bit. You have a Cobra logo in the middle. It's a fairly basic and simple interior. It's improved in quality compared to definitely the Boss 302, but it's nothing crazy fancy. In the center console, we've got some toggles for your hazard, traction, launch control, and exhaust mode. We've got the full red start-stop button, climate control, and your sync screen in the middle, the touch screen, gauges for your oil temperature and pressure, and then the plaque on the dash. So that is the interior of the 350R. Now let's go check out the Mach 1. Opening and closing the door, same thing. You can keyless entry, key in your pocket. You press that, it locks it. Approach it with the key in your pocket, unlocks. We have Mach 1 on the door sill. This is all like squishy leather, the stitching, much better B&O sound system. The seats are leather trimmed with an orange accent. This one does have the back seats. You can get a Mach 1 with the rear seat delete too for I think it's $250. You see the Mustang logo on the steering wheel. Different buttons, they reconfigured some of those, and a full digital cluster. So let's go ahead and turn that on. Pretty cool startup animation on this full digital cluster, which the newer Mustangs, the Shelby GT500 does have. I don't think it's backwards compatible that you could retrofit that onto the 350R. I don't think anybody's done that yet. It'd be probably a programming nightmare, but it's very nice. If you go through the drive modes, you've got these silver toggles in the middle for your hazards, traction, steering, and the drive modes, and you see the starts up button has this silver finish to it. We go through to normal, my mode, Sport Plus changes up the tachometer slightly, and track mode completely reconfigures it for the most aggressive look. It's pretty cool. Same as the one in the GT500. So then, drag strip, we got, I think there's a snow/wet, and we can go back to regular. Got those dials in the middle too. The dash plaque here says Mach 1 versus the red one in the 350R with the chassis number. A lot of the stuff is similar, I mean, the same glove box. This dome light enclosure has stayed the same since my 2012 Mustang. So I was like, really guys? They didn't change that in the Shelby, nor did they change it in this. Steering wheel is wrapped in leather. We have paddle shifters on here fixed to the steering wheel. So it's definitely more updated tech, a lot more luxury. Bang & Olufsen sound system, B&O branded sound system. We've got this kind of metal looking finish, plastic finish across the dash. You could get carbon fiber on the later 2019, 2020 350s. Full carbon fiber dash package was cool. There's a quick look at the similarities and differences between the 350R and the all-new Mustang Mach 1. It's not exactly a completely fair comparison because this is a non-handling pack Mach 1, whereas that's the top-end 350R, and also that's a full-out Ford performance product. This is still closer related to a Mustang GT than it is to an actual Shelby 350 or 350R. Driving-wise, we'll talk about more of that in the video for this Mach 1 specifically, but you can see the comparison between the two. The Mach 1 is absolutely much more updated. You got the full digital cluster there, a lot more of the luxury and the tech features. It's a more comfortable car. It's easier to daily drive with the 10-speed automatic for sure, road trips, things like that. But the 350R is just more raw, more exhilarating. The highest endorsement I can give a car is to buy it myself, and I am not planning on getting rid of my 350R to buy either a Mach 1 handling pack or a GT500, anything like that. But it was definitely cool to see the similarities and differences and compare the two of them. With that, we'll conclude this video. Make sure you check out the driving review of this car, the Mach 1, and the videos I have on my 350R. Hope you guys enjoyed this comparison. Thanks for watching.